how to properly clean and adjust rear drum brakes. I'm Brian Essick from How To Automotive. I'm going to walk you through that process. Get started by removing the rear wheel, and if you're doing this at home, use floor jacks and jack stands. So the next step we need to do is get the actual drum off. Depending on what type of vehicle you're working on, a lot of times they like to adhere themselves to the hub and they won't come off. So there's a couple ways you can get them off. On this particular car, they have a couple threaded holes in a couple spots, and you can use a 8x125 bolt and screw it in like this. And if your drum doesn't have it, say if it doesn't have it, one of the other techniques you can use is to take a hammer and you can smack the drum like that, and that'll break that rust free and allow you to get the drum off. With the threaded screws, you just screw the bolt in like this, and screw the bolt in, and it'll pull the drum off for you. Next, I'm going to put a bucket down to catch the spray that I'm going to spray on it. I'm going to spray the brake clean. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to get the brake parts and shoes a good thorough washing with the brake cleaner. So we'll just spray this all the way around and try to get it behind all the grooves and get as much of this brake dust and dirt out. And try not to breathe this stuff in. After giving it a good thorough washing with the brake parts washer here, if you guys are interested in this or purchasing this, you can go to howtoautomotive.com and check out the tools and product page. It's available there. I'm also going to give the drum itself a quick little spray down and spray out some of this brake dust that's collected in here. So after washing our drum and all of our parts on our shoes, the next step is when we spray it off with that brake clean, a lot of times what it does is it washes off the lubricants that help prevent squeaks and stuff on the brake shoes. So what we need to do is reapply some grease. So you're going to need like a little screwdriver or a pry bar like this, and you're going to put it behind the pad and pry it back a little bit like this. And then you're going to take a little brush of your Seal Glide brake caliper grease, or grease designed just for brakes. You don't want to use regular grease. You want to use grease that is designed just for brakes. And you can also purchase this at howtoautomotive.com. So what you're going to do is you're going to pry this back like this, and then there's a couple spots where the brake pads ride and touch the backing plate. So there's usually about 3 spots where they make contact with the backing plate. So 3 spots: one here, one towards the middle of the pad, and then one at the bottom of the shoe. So what you're going to do is you're going to flare it out, open it, and you're going to take your little brush and you're going to slip it behind there, and you're just going to put a little dab. You don't need a ton of it on there. So you're going to do it in the 3 spots where it makes contact. So you'll rotate your screwdriver around and pry it around here, and get it back here. And you're going to try not to get any of the grease on the shoes itself. And if you do, you're going to wipe it off of a rag and brake clean, and wipe it off. And then what I like to do, so if you get a little grease or something on the pad, then you can take a little piece of sandpaper like so, and you can sand the grease off, and the grease will actually cause it to squeak, or it can also cause hot spots on the drums. So after you lubricate the 3 spots on the front shoe, you can do the same thing on the rear shoe. And then you're going to wipe off any excess grease. Like this is too much grease here, so we're going to get a rag and wipe some of this out. So now that we got the shoes all cleaned up, lubricated up, and now we're at the point where we need to adjust it. And on different cars, the adjuster is going to be in different spots. Like this particular car, the adjuster's on top. Sometimes they're on the bottom. I've even seen them on the sides, left and right. So depending on where yours is and what type of make and model you're working on, you'll have to determine where your adjuster is. And sometimes you adjust them with the drum off, and you adjust them here, and you'll click the little wheel, turn the wheel, and then slide the drum on. And sometimes you adjust it from the back side with a brake spoon like this, and you'll go through a hole that's in the back, as you can see on this particular one. And when you adjust, you want to listen for that click. So as you can see, I'm adjusting it, tightening it here. And the way they're designed is if you try to go the wrong way, they won't move It won't move because this little lever catches in a groove here. So so what we're going to do is we're going to slide our drum back on, and we're going to adjust this wheel. On this particular one, we adjust from the back side, and we'll click it until there's a light drag. But basically, this shoe will touch the inside of the drum lightly. If you over adjust, what happens is these brakes can get really hot, and you can boil the brake fluid in them. So you don't want to over adjust it. You just want to adjust it up just enough to where this surface of this shoe is touching the inside of the drum, so the shoe is just lightly touching it, and so you're going to feel a light drag. If you don't have a brake spoon like this, you can also do it with a lot of times you can do it with just a regular flat blade screwdriver. You don't necessarily need a brake spoon, depending on the car. Some cars it's impossible to get in there without one of these spoons, and some of them require special spoons depending on what you're working on. Slide your drum back on, and you're going to adjust the adjuster until the drum is, you can feel it touching with your hand. As you try to rotate this drum, you can feel it touching the shoes on the inside. And all you want, like I said, all you want is a light. Sometimes with a drum system like this, where it's rear-wheel drive, it may be hard to rotate it and feel it. So you may want to put the tire back on, and then you can feel how easily the whole tire assembly spins. You also want to make sure it's in neutral when you're doing this. So that's what I'm going to do on this, because it's a little too hard for me to turn here. But when you put the tire on, you can feel how loose you can feel it a little better. If you can spin the wheel, you need to adjust the brake shoes. So what you want to do is you want to adjust it so when you try to turn it with some good force, you know, it'll only spin and stop about halfway around so the wheel, the drum assembly will only spin about halfway, and you should be able to feel that drag. So now that we got our drum brake adjusted to where we like it, that'll complete the service of cleaning and adjusting drum brakes. I'm Brian Essa from How To Automotive. I'd like to thank you guys for watching my videos, and encourage you to subscribe. And if you're in need of any tools or products like you see in these videos, I invite you to come over to the howtoautomotive.com website and check out the tools and product page. And I'd like to thank you again.